just arrived in Iceland and just going down to the Blue Lagoon and walking in through this like volcanic rock, and it looks really cool. Here's the blue water we're about to go in. We're in Reykjavik now. We just had some Icelandic food and now checking out the church that is central to the city and very famous. So it's now the second day in Iceland. I am quite tired because of the jet lag and I couldn't fall asleep very easily, but today we're going to explore the Golden Circle and I'm pretty excited. It's one of the most famous areas that's really close to Reykjavik, so it's not too far of a bus ride away, and there's a lot of really cool sights, so let's go. So our first stop is at Snaefellsnes National Park. I believe the pronunciation is tricky here, and it's really pretty. First waterfall of many of the trip. We're at a lake now where the temperature is so high they can actually cook bread under the ground, just kind of bury it in the dirt, and they make like a rye bread. And this is the bread under the mountains with the rocks on it. The bread is very good here so far. And Gullfoss, which is a massive waterfall, it is crazy looking and very cold and wet and windy. The mist from this waterfall is really crazy. Only got a little soaked. See the waterfall from the lower path or the upper path. So we're on the upper path now, again a little bit further away from the waterfall, but a different view. And in the distance, I think you can actually see a glacier very far away. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it is. The landscapes here are just incredibly beautiful. Everywhere you look, it's just amazing. And it's a little cold, a little windy, but I'm getting used to it, and I'm really thankful to be here. So now we're going to see a geyser. The one we're seeing, I think, is called Stroku, but there was a geyser that used to be active here called Geysir, which is the base of the English word geyser. So that's cool, and yeah, we have to try not to get wet because it erupts like every 5 to 10 minutes, and a lot of hot water comes out. The geyser just erupted. It smells a little bit like rotten eggs, and some people got soaked. They're sitting on the benches nearby, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. Near the geyser there is a bit of a hike, and it has really good views. The views are just crazy here so far. Panoramic views everywhere you look, and yeah, definitely worth the hike up here. Now stopping at Carid Crater, and there's some really cool blue water in the center of this massive volcanic crater behind me. So right now we're waiting to get picked up to actually descend into a volcano, which is a very unique experience that I'm excited about. I think it's the only place in the world you can actually descend into the magma chamber of a volcano. Of course, it's a dormant volcano, but I am pretty excited, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit scary though. We're kind of descending on like a window cleaner and going down like the Statue of Liberty height into the volcano chamber, so let's see how it goes. We're on the way to the volcano now, and it totally feels like another planet. Walking through some lava fields, and the scenery is just otherworldly. So we're walking towards the three peaks, and the one on the right is the volcano that we're actually going into. And yeah, this landscape is just crazy. I know I said that before, but it feels like another planet. So we've descended into the volcano, and it's almost hard to tell which direction is up at this point. The lift is super far away and it looks crazy coming down, and yeah, this is just like nothing else I've seen before. And yeah, inside a volcano. It is quite dark inside the volcano, so I'm not sure how well this footage will turn out, but yeah, it's crazy walking around here. It feels like it's not even real, and yeah, I don't know how to describe this. I feel like it's hard to remember because it feels just like a weird dream that I'm having, but yeah, it's incredible in here. Some camp soup for lunch and walking back now, and yeah, it was a really incredible experience. And yeah, I keep saying it, the landscape here is just like insane. I definitely have never been anywhere like this, and I am having trouble absorbing all of it because it just feels so different, so alien. It's now about 9 p.m. and we're just about to go out on a tour to hopefully see the Northern Lights. And I'm really excited about this, but they're kind of unclear as to whether you'll ever see them or when you'll see them, because it's just a natural phenomenon. But the conditions look pretty good, so hopefully we will see them. Otherwise, we'll just be standing in the cold for a few hours and freezing, but I have my hopes up.
Thanks to him, the mythology has survived.
So it's now the next day, and unfortunately we did not see the Northern Lights last night. We're driving around till like 2 a.m. I'm very tired today because of that, but we're going back out tonight, so hopefully we'll see them. And today we're exploring the Snaefellsnes Peninsula. The words here are difficult to pronounce if you're not from here. And right now we're on a beach where there's supposed to be seals. I don't know if there are any today, but this is like Yitri Tunga, I think. So we'll see if there's any seals. There actually are a couple seals out diving out of the water. They're pretty cute. Outside the Black Church, which is a very iconic church here in the Snaefellsnes Peninsula. I can't even say peninsula, that's an English word. But yeah, it's pretty, it's charming, it's very small. Now I'm visiting a small fishing village called Snaefellsnes, I think. And actually like 6 families that live here full time, especially this tourism, and it's very, very empty. So now on top of one of the arches, it looks a lot scarier in the photo than it was in reality, but yeah, the views here along the coast are really incredible. At Mount Kirkjufell, I think. It is a mountain that is in Game of Thrones, actually, so it's a popular site here as well, and I thought it was actually going to be a lot smaller than it is for some reason. I just had this impression that it was like a smaller mountain that you could just walk up, but it is actually quite big. It's right behind me. Let me show you. Yeah, it's definitely not easy to climb. I think it's possible, but we don't have time right now, unfortunately, but it's a really cool shape. Very interesting.
It has been a serious problem.
So it's been like 4 days since I last recorded, and I'm still in Iceland, but things have kind of taken a weird turn. So for one thing, we did see the Northern Lights, which was really, really cool. They weren't super colorful, but in photos they are, and the way they moved through the sky was incredible. But then after that, we got sick, and we don't want to spread anything, so we didn't want to travel back, and I had to cancel some of the tours I was planning on doing, and it basically just threw a wrench in everything I had planned. So now it's a few days later, I'm feeling a bit better, still a bit sick though. But I wanted to see more of the country and I had to move the flights anyway, so I decided to rent a car, which would normally probably not be a big deal, but I haven't driven in 8 years, so I was pretty scared, but I just drove an hour and a half, and you know what? It was totally fine. And now we're in the middle of the south countryside in Iceland and staying in a cabin, which is really incredible in the middle of like horse farms. There's no one nearby, and the scenery is incredible, and if we are feeling better the next couple of days we can see more of the south coast, so I think that it was worth it. And you know, now I have my driving confidence back a little bit, so I think that I'll be able to go on more trips in the future where I'm actually driving. At this point I actually kind of wish I had rented a car this whole time, because then I could have just done things at my own pace and not have to deal with tours and groups of people. But next time, now I know that I will rent a car and drive around the whole country. See over there are horses, and this is the cabin, and yeah, it's definitely a bit different than where we were staying in Reykjavik before. These are the windows in the cabin, and if it wasn't so cloudy, there would be a really crazy view from here. You can see in the distance there is a mountain with a glacier on top. Well, you can't really see it right now because it's very cloudy, but if it wasn't cloudy, you can see that. And it's also be a great place to see the northern lights if it wasn't so cloudy. These horses are really friendly seeming, but they are not near where we're staying. They're kind of at the house over. And yeah, I'm just going to say hi really briefly. Hey. Hello. So it's been another day since the last clip, and unfortunately we've still been pretty sick, so we just kind of stayed at the Airbnb that we're at and have been trying to recuperate. We're now here in Iceland for 2 more full days and then flying out the next day, and I really wanted to see more of the south coast. We were supposed to see it before we got sick, and now I'm not sure what's happening. I think we can at least see some of the south coast. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see all of it that I had originally planned, but you know, you have to roll with it, and I am glad that I rented the car. It's giving me more confidence for future driving. So it's now the next day and feeling a bit better. So trying to see a few sites, just 2 more days left here in Iceland before we fly home. But this is a waterfall, one of probably 3 we're seeing today. And it isn't what I heard recommended before, but it's really impressive. There's just so many waterfalls here in Iceland that you will be seeing a lot of them if you come visit. We're now at one of the most famous waterfalls in Iceland, Seljalandsfoss, I think. And what's cool about this waterfall is you can actually walk behind it, although you might get soaked, so I guess I'll try it. So we just came out from under the waterfall, and I am now like completely soaked. You had to wait until the wind stopped blowing a certain direction so the waterfall didn't get you entirely soaked, but good thing I'm wearing rain pants and a rain jacket. But yeah, it's really incredible. There's not any place you can go behind a waterfall like that, at least I haven't been any, and yeah, very soaked but worth it. Next to the main waterfall there's a kind of hidden waterfall that you can crawl through a cave kind of thing to get through a ravine. Very wet, but very cool. I think it's worth doing. So I'm now just outside of Vik, and I'm checking out Reykjavik, I think, the black sand beach, and we're here just about around sunset, so not too much daylight left, but I think it'll be pretty. You have to be careful about the sneaker waves, they call them here, that can pull you into the ocean. The columns over there look really cool. We went to a beach earlier this trip that was kind of like this. It was black, but it was more pebbly. This actually looks like black sand, which is pretty different. Yeah, another incredibly surreal place here in Iceland, and I am incredibly glad I rented a car and able to see this and other places as well today. My tour that was going to South Coast, I obviously had to cancel because of getting sick, so yeah, I'm just glad I got to see this. So we stayed overnight near Skogafoss, a massive waterfall that is currently right behind me, and today we're still figuring out what we're doing. I was hoping to go further down the south coast, but we'll see if it happens. This is the waterfall, and there is a path up the hill over here that you can walk. I don't think we're doing it today though, because we're still trying to recover from being sick, but it would be really cool. And yeah, there are just so many waterfalls here in Iceland. So I think I've now decided that I'm going to try to drive to the Glacier Lagoon and back, which is like 6.5 hours round trip, so it's kind of a lot, but I'm feeling fine, and the drive is honestly really beautiful. There's just so much crazy nature still. There's lava fields and mountains, and I'm excited to see everything along the way, as well as hopefully the Glacier Lagoon and maybe a canyon on the way as well, so I'll keep you updated. We stopped along the way at this famous canyon here. I cannot pronounce the name. I don't think I should try, but it starts with an F, and yeah, it's a really cool view and kind of halfway along the way between Vik and the Glacier Lagoon area, and yeah, it's really pretty. After 3-hour drive, we've arrived at Jökulsárlón, I believe, the Glacier Lagoon, and it's one of the things I was most excited about seeing in Iceland. It's very blue, chunks of ice behind me floating in the river, and yeah, it just looks very different than any place I've been before, like most of Iceland, I guess. I saw the sign, and the ice looks so blue because it's super dense, and I guess it absorbs every color except blue, so it looks blue. But I've definitely never seen ice that looks this blue before, and yeah, there's a lot of it. It's really cool. Took a spontaneous amphibian boat tour out into the Glacier Lagoon itself, so they like drive you out and then it goes into the water, and it's really cool getting up close with the icebergs, and yeah, really cool blue color of the ice. I guess it's more of an optical illusion because it doesn't always look blue like that, but it's really pretty, and a lot of movies were filmed here, like a James Bond movie, Die Another Day, and others as well that I don't remember right now. Maybe I'll share some screenshots of, but yeah, really, really cool place. We're about to start the 3-hour drive back to our Airbnb for the night, and then tomorrow flying out of Iceland. Just checking out the Diamond Beach as a last thing. This is near the Glacier Lagoon. It's kind of just like a bunch of small ice blocks washed up on this beach here from the glacier. Probably during certain times of day this would look really cool with the lighting. Last morning in Iceland on this trip, just about to start the 2-hour drive to the airport and then finally heading home. This trip has been a bit different than I initially planned, but there were a lot of really cool things other than being sick, and yeah, it's been a great trip overall. Walking. I'm so awkward vlogging.